A very good afternoon to you all. Welcome to Hochanda. Do stay with us for the next hour. I've been looking forward to this actually because I'm going to get to work with a guest that I've known for many years. But actually, this is the first time I've presented with her as a guest. It's Claire. Claire Hamer. How are you doing, Claire?
I'm fine. I'm very excited to be working with you.
We've been waving across the studio a few times, but you know, we've not actually had a show together until now.
This is it.
It really is. And great as well because it's Pink Frog. What more can we ask for? We're talking all about watercolour as well. I think everybody knows by now that when it comes to Pink Frog, you get exceptional value and you get exceptional quality as well. And we're starting right here with exceptional prices at just $13.99, 50 sheets of watercolour. These are 15 by 30 centimetres. Now, it's not just a watercolour card we're getting, is it, Claire? We're getting some templates and instructions, aren't we?
We are. So you've got instructions for 10 card folds in there. Plus, you get the frames as well. So
amazing.
Lots to go at. Lots to have a straight in there and get making.
Definitely. Well, I've got a list of what you're going to get included, of what you can make there. You can see the square card, the gatefold card, the trifold card, the easel card with no mat, Z-fold card, side gatefold card, a double gatefold card. And if I spin it round, you can see you get a pocket fold or tent card, a pop-out card, which does require 2 card blanks, but there's plenty there to go at, isn't there? So I don't think we mind that. And the inverted stepper card as well. Absolutely wonderful. And the frame as well that Claire's just mentioned, the 15 by 15 centimetre frame. Now, Claire, when it comes to the watercolour card, obviously we see a lot of the smooth white card here. We've had shows this last week. And we say you can do all sorts of techniques. You can put moisture on there, you can throw water at it. But there is a point to where you need to switch to watercolour, isn't there?
There is. For me, one of the benefits of watercolour is it just gives you that little bit more open time to play with. So, and if you want to go over it again, so it doesn't pucker at all, and you can just keep adding water.
Definitely.
And for me, I also like it as a card as well. I like it as a card blank. I think it's got a richness and elegance. So for me, it reminds me of that expensive wedding stationery.
Do you know, I totally agree as well. And if you were to do a technique with watercolour and then mount it onto a different type of card, sometimes you see the difference in colour, you can see the surface is different, and it doesn't work the same, does it? So great as a blank as well. Just $13.99 for 50 pieces. Remember, these are 15 centimetres by 30 centimetres. It works out at about 28 pence per piece. That is ridiculous. 217888 is the item number. Now, we have got more for you as well, because when it comes to cutting down, perhaps you want to go for watercolour that's pre-cut for you. This is a great option because you've got your 15 centimetres by your 15 centimetres, which works out, do you know, it's roughly a 6 by 6, isn't it? A card blank there.
It
or
is.
A matte layer.
Yeah, and these fit beautifully on the 15 by 30 cards. And for me, I have absolutely loved having that stack of watercolour and just going through it and trying things out. And, you know, it doesn't feel like you're breaking into a big piece of cards. So I've absolutely loved those little stacks. Well, not so little.
True. And we're just looking at some beautiful samples as well. Of course, we're going to see lots of demonstrations from Claire, lots of other samples as well in the studio. Whether you're stamping, whether you're really spritzing with your sprays or using your watercolours, your pens, there's lots you can do. You can emboss on the watercolour as well, can't you, Claire?
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, I've got a good sample here, actually. I just spotted it. There we are. Look at the butterflies. They've been embossed with white. Wonderful. Only $13.99. You're getting 100 sheets here, all pre-cut. 280 GSM as well. 261694 is the item number if you want to go for the 15 by 15s. Then, of course, the options really open up when we see our 12 by 12s. Now, we're moving to inches now rather than centimetres. 12 by 12 inches this is. So this is a scrapbook page size, isn't it?
It is. And the great thing about this watercolour card is it's acid and lignin free as well. So absolutely perfect for scrapbooking, for memory, albums, anything like that.
Perfect. And in fact, I have got a couple of samples when it comes to scrapbook pages. But again, we're getting a bonus because we've got the template to create the bag that we're looking at as well. One of the little bags I've got here. Beautiful. So again, you can do all those different techniques and you have got the instructions included. Now you're getting 30 sheets of 12 by 12. Of course, you could look at this in another way as well. If you want those smaller pieces, those 15 by 15, you can, or 6 by 6s, cut these into 4 ways. So straight down the middle, both ways, Claire, and you've got your 6 by 6s as well.
Yeah, so if you prefer the bigger format, you've got that and you can chop it. So yeah, everything you need.
This is nice.
Lovely Caroline's made that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful. And she's just thrown so much at that as well. There's ink, there's textures, she's stamped on it, she's die cut it. Just about everything, really.
And you can see, because of the weight of the card, it holds itself so perfectly. There we've got a great scrapbook page, haven't we? I love the effects with the dripping there.
Yeah, and the big word on it, that was cut with an electronic die cutting machine, so with a Cricut, so you can cut the watercolour on the Cricut machine as well.
Of course, and more drippy effects there again. So, you know, you've got lots of options of what you can achieve here. 156122 is the item number. Now, because we've got the watercolour, we want to see lots of demonstrations. We are going to head over to Claire right now, actually, to get stuck in to those demonstrations. I cannot wait to see what you've got ready for us, Claire.
So I thought we'd start straight away how do we get a bit of ink and a bit of colour on our watercolour. So we're going to make this little card, little tag book.
Oh, lovely.
So when you look at the colour of it, you think, really, is that watercolour? But it is. So what we'll do is we'll make this opens up and it's got the tags in it. So what we'll do is we'll make the tags, which is the same that we do for the whole piece.
Okay. You honestly wouldn't know that is watercolour looking
You wouldn't.
At that sample.
Let's pop that there.
It definitely
out of
is.
the
We're
way.
going to prove the point as well.
There you go. So these are just a couple of tags that I've run through a die cutting machine,
Okay,
just ordinary
lovely.
tags. And we are just going to scrunch this up.
So even though it's 280 GSM, you can still scrunch it, you can still put those creases in there.
Yeah, so it scrunches, it's quite nice, it's got quite a malleability to it.
Yeah, the fibres are very soft, it is very malleable, isn't it, watercolour?
And to get going, we are literally just going to swipe our ink pads over the top, and I'm going to use a bit of gathered twigs.
Okay, lovely.
We'll do that, we'll do a couple of these.
It's one of my favourite browns in the range, actually, gathered twigs.
I like the way it brings out some yellow colours in it, and then we'll pop some ground espresso on as well. And we are just going to throw a load of water at it.
So just water, nothing else in your spritzer.
Nothing else, and you can just see it start to move. I am going to grab, because we will dab as we go, and we'll just heat those through. We'll dab. The other thing is where you've got that runoff, I'll quite often do the other side at the same time.
Oh, yeah, of course. Lovely stuff. So drying that, you can really see where those creases are picking up. You've broken the fibres, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you've seen the density of colour there. They look very aged, very fluffy, don't they?
And then, if we want to, we can go in again. So either, you know, now it's even softer because obviously it's a little bit damp, so you can go in again, give it another bit of a scrunch, so you'll get a few more different lines. Lovely. And again, we can just use those same colours.
You'll never ever get the same effect because wherever the creases fall, how the ink sits there, always will look different.
Definitely, and when you're trying to do prep and you're trying to make the pieces look kind of a bit the same, they definitely don't go the same colour. So again, you can see how much water that I'm adding. You know, these are absolutely soaking and it just doesn't damage the card whatsoever.
And the same thing actually, we've got to say with the heat gun as well, it doesn't matter that you're adding that heat and you're adding it again. You know, the heat gun isn't going to do damage to the card either.
No. There you go.
There we are. So
and while we've still got a bit of colour on there, we can just dab those extra bits in as well.
Lovely.
And those...
Let's do that rather than just wipe it away and waste it.
Yeah, it breaks my heart to waste it. One of the really interesting things for me now is obviously these are quite textured.
Okay, yeah.
So one of the things you can do at this point, if you want to smooth them, they're not super crinkly, but if you want to, if you put an iron across them, it'll just flatten them out if you want to.
That's a good idea, yes.
Just, you know, if you're maybe not very confident about stamping or you've got maybe a very fine stamp and you want to make sure it's going to get in all those things, just give it a quick iron.
Oh, that's a good example of what you can do actually to create that perfect surface. Just as you're blotting off there, Claire, I'm just going to let everybody know, we didn't mention it earlier on, any purchases have been dispatched from the 22nd of January. It's only 2 days, so don't worry about that. Just I think everybody's catching up with the busy one-day special we had last week, to be honest. But we didn't see the watercolour in the one-day special. This is why we've got a separate show for this. In fact, while I'm here, I'm just going to give you a reminder, the details on the screen, because you're looking at the 15 by 15, which essentially converts into a 6 by 6. £13.99 is the price. The one in front of me is the 30 by 15. Claire did say it, and I'll just prove a point actually. If you fold these in half, of course, if you're going for more than one selection, you can have these to work together as well. So there's all sorts of different folds. Even with the templates that you're getting or the instructions you're getting there, there's much more you can do besides. So when it comes to the 15 by 30, you've got 50 sheets there, only £13.99, 217888.
Okay, so as well as the tags, I did pre-prepare a bigger piece, but I didn't think you'd want to see me dry this.
Okay, so that is the 15 by 30.
That is the 15 by 30,
Wonderful.
and it just amazes me that it goes such a beautiful colour. And what we're going to do is turn this into, it's on the instructions as the pocket fold or tent card.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is score it at 15, and then at 5, and at 25.
Okay.
And that is obviously going to fold in half like a normal card blank. And then these two little bits are just going to fold in.
Oh, so they're your pockets.
They are.
This is a great idea for invitations as well, isn't it? Because you can put your you know, your RSVP in there.
Definitely. And gift cards,
Yeah.
anything like that. I'm just going to grab a little bit of red liner tape.
Wonderful. Oh, we do have the red liner tape on the show as well, don't we? We'll bring you the details for that. Love it when Pink Frog bring the red liner, because we do get it in the different widths as well. So we do have the 3mm, the 6mm, the 9 and the 12mm. In fact, in total, you are getting 120 metres. This is how it's going to arrive with you. 30 metres on each roll, regardless of the width of their, all separately packaged as well, which is nice. So, you know, you can keep those in the packets if you wish. But I think you've got something for every job then. It's not just for sticking down your card and your paper. Use it for your gilding flakes, use it for your glitter, your flocking, that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, and I'm just using the 6mm because I want it to stick at the edges but not take up, you know, so it still gives me quite a big pocket on there.
Okay, lovely.
So we're going to pull
Yeah,
those
that's important
there.
actually to consider that, isn't it, if you're making a pocket for anything?
Yeah, you still want that in there. So that gives us straight away, let's just move that tape, our little
It's
pocket
like a little
card.
passport wallet.
It is. It just reminds me of a little wallet. So it'd be good if you were giving somebody some money or a little gift card. So now we can grab this. The other thing we can do is we can, if we want a little bit more texture, but we don't want to add it, I can use some of my texture stamps that we've got as well.
Lovely.
So this is the little stamp book that Hazel did on the show the other day. So this is just.
Oh, these are nice,
I've
aren't they?
copied that, yeah.
We'll find the details for these as well. These are beautiful. Do consider these as well. There, we can see the picture of them. Aren't they fantastic? Love anything that's got the textures on. And you get some smooth card, the super smooth in there, and the watercolour, 5 sheets of each there. So a great bundle. £3.25 is a saving on this one. £14.95 is the price. 877842.
I'm only putting that bit of watercolour underneath because I don't want to kind of waste any ink, so that'll go underneath on a spare piece. And again, it'll just give you even more added texture on your tags, on your paper. So it's just adding just another layer of texture. We'll put a little bit on that side. And then what we'll do is we'll grab a couple of word stamps or a word stamp.
Lovely. Now, other ideas I'm hearing for the wallet pocket fold or the tent fold card, depending on how you're going to use it, could be to put some seeds in, maybe for a gardener as well, little seed packet
little
in each
tea
side.
bag.
Well, I was just going to say the tea bags. I think that would always work well. What else could we put in there? I'm trying to think now. We've done the vouchers, we've done the gift cards.
Yeah.
You could I am not going to say what I've just heard. Oh, dear me. Do you know, sometimes the suggestions are really good from the gallery, Claire, and sometimes...
I've not got that very straight.
Really terrible.
I could do this in a stamping platform, but we're just going for it today. And we've just got with love on there. And with this being watercolour, if we want to, we can then... I'm going to put with love on both of them. Why not? What I can do is if I grab a paintbrush and a little bit of ink, oh, we'll go, there's a bit of rusty hinge there, let's add a bit of a different colour, a bit of orangey colour, and add that. What I can do is I can go in and just paint in here, add a bit more water.
Oh, that'll look effective, so it's going to really accentuate the words there.
Yeah, and even though these have been absolutely soaking wet and we've dried them a couple of times and wet them, it'll take this no problem at all.
We can see that.
So, you know.
Yeah, no buckling, everything looks nice and
no,
flat.
so especially if you're somebody who maybe likes to go in and faff a little bit and keep going back and making sure, you know, you're happy with it. Watercolour is very forgiving. It's also very forgiving if, like me, you're quite heavy-handed with water. So
do you know, you say that, and it's a good point, though, because and spritzers, depending on the spritzer that you use, I have one that's really meant for hairdressers, actually, and you can turn the nozzle so you can have it very fine or you can have it a little bit heavier. Sometimes I forget and just go with it, and I've literally soaked everything, but it doesn't matter with the watercolour.
Doesn't. So at that point, we can just grab a little bit of twine, which I did get out. There you go. So any kind of twine, bit of string.
Lovely. We're saving from your packaging. We often find
from your packaging, kind of from the kitchen drawer, you know, if you've got a bit of string in there. And we'll just pop those through.
Staying with the theme of the, you know, the browns.
Yeah.
It works beautifully.
So what we'll do is we'll pop one of these inside, but what we'll do is we'll pop one on the front as well. So one of the things I'm really loving from Pink Frog at the minute is the new foam pads that we've got. I'm going to straighten that off.
No, I've got a roll of those here, actually. Shall we have a look at these?
Love them.
Would you believe on here there are individual foam pads and they total 1,500 per roll? That is amazing. Now, how thick are these? Are these about...
They're 2 mil. Which is great because they're not super thick, but if you want them to be thicker, you could sandwich two together to get a bit more
Now the
depth.
actual foam pads themselves, if you go back to centimetres, they are 3 by 2.4 centimetres. So you could easily just use one and double it over instead of using two if you're doing smaller pieces, Claire, or mounting smaller things. And of course you can cut into these any way you wish. That is going to last a long time, isn't it?
It is. And for me, I would much rather have the bigger ones and be able to kind of cut like little bits out of them.
Yeah, I agree actually. And do you know, the amount of times I've used foam tape or foam pads in the past and you don't get so much and then you run out partway through a project. You're never going to run out with those, are you? Not for a long time. Only £19.49. 103564 is the item number.
And what I like to do, just to finish it off, a bit of ink just round the edges, just to make that stand out, especially the one that I've just put foam pads on, that we're going to pop on the front of our card.
Okay. Now you've used the red liner tape, which we do have. You've also used the foam pads, which we've just done. But if you wanted to use glue, we've also got glues for you as well. Now the EVA glue, we had this on last week, but it's essentially, it's very, very new here. You went for this in your droves last week as well. £13.99 is the price, and you're getting an awful lot. This is 225 millilitres. Can you just remind us, Claire, why EVA? What is EVA, you know, in comparison to PVA?
I can't say the words, but basically it's what you would use in archival work.
Right.
So it's a neutral pH glue. It's going to be very kind to your card and your paper and your projects. They're not going to yellow. They're not going to go brittle over time.
So we are thinking about our albums, our photographs, our scrapbook pages again, the perfect glue for that. Do not miss out on that. And if you are going for that, it might be worth popping these into your basket as well. These have been busy in the past, they're busy again today as well. I am not surprised. We'll bring the details up. You've got such a super fine nozzle. In fact, you've got two different ones. Look at this, 23.5 millilitres, but the size of the tip, 0.5 and also a 0.8. Tiny tip, so you can do really precise precision work with that as well. Again, great when you're doing your scrapbooking, especially if you're going to, you know, not condense, what's the word? Decant, that's the word I'm looking for. Decant the glue from the big bottle into the fine applicators. Very busy on those. £12.99, 603 282. If you can go for both, I certainly would do. Right, Claire.
Right, so we've kind of gone grungy. We've done that. I mean, I'm happy with that. You know, you could add as many tags as you wanted, add all sorts of personal messages, add a little gift tag. So now what I want to do is let's move on to something a bit brighter.
Okay.
Okay.
Lovely. So we're covering everybody's tastes.
So I'm happy with that. So what I thought we'd move on to is something like this, and this is super easy.
That is very pretty.
And you could do this. In fact, I tell you what we'll do. We are going to do it. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to do it straight onto the front of a card. So I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not that brave.
Just while I'm thinking as well, when it comes to the watercolour, if you want to make your own journals up as well with watercolour pages, this is going to be absolutely fabulous for that. You can go straight for the 15 by 15 and make a 6 by 6 journal. You could go for the larger one and do the folded pages. You could pre-fold the pages, couldn't you, to go into a journal and make that straight away?
Definitely. They'd make beautiful little folios to go in, you know, a little book.
I just love watercolour for journaling because, again, you can build up those designs, you can build up the layers, you can throw so much at the pages. So don't just think of your card making and the things that we've already mentioned, do think past that as well.
Okay,
right, Claire.
So I'm going to grab another one of our stamps. This is from our daisy set.
Wonderful.
So, and I just love this daisy. I think it's beautiful. So we have got one of our little 15 by 15 centimetre mats. I might have chopped that one down a tiny bit so we can just pop it on the card. So we're just using some VersaFine Clair, and we're going to pop our daisy on there.
Lovely. We have got the details for the daisy stamp on the screen at the moment, actually. Another great buy. Look at this. You're getting the A4 Super Smooth in this as well. You're getting 5 of them. 300 GSM, and you're getting the A4 watercolour, 5 of those as well, at 280 GSM. These are, as I say, both A4, the Super Smooth and the watercolour, and that stamp set as well. And there are 19 individual stamps on that set, a $3.25 saving, only $14.95, 673 377. That's a lovely bundle for someone that's maybe been a little bit frightened to start stamping, Claire, and wants to go for the first time, because you've got the Super Smooth and the watercolour and the stamps to go with as well.
And that's why we've put both of those cards with it, to give people a bit of a flavour, so to see kind of which they like. So from that you could make a card, you can mat and layer, just about everything really. Wonderful. So we've stamped our daisy, and I've stamped a little happy birthday. I'm just going to mask it off. So this is our masket. It doesn't come that colour. This one's been used. So basically it's like, it's double-sided, light, tacky, but it's beautiful because once you've cut them out, they last quite a while.
They do. So do we have the masket on this show today?
I think we've got some.
We had it on the one-day special last week. It might be an end of call, I don't know. We'll see if we can find out.
And then this is masket as well, and all I've done is just cut a little strip of it. Now, because I am going to spray this, I'm going to grab, she says, there you go, I'm going to grab a piece of 12 by 12.
Wonderful. Because
for two things. One, I'm going to make a terrible mess. And secondly, I don't want to waste this ink that I'm using. So these are just two spritzes. I'm not even sure where they're from, what they are, but they're lovely colours.
Well, I can see straight away that's a beautiful teal colour.
So we can just go there, and then we'll pop a bit of green on. Make sure the nozzle's facing the right way.
I think we've all had a moment like that before.
Yeah. And I'm quite liking some of these big drops that are coming off as well, actually. Oh, look, there you go.
I love the splatters.
So, there you go. So, I'd normally let that dry a little bit.
Okay.
But you know what?
I'm just going to go for it, aren't
Of course we're going to go for it.
Oh, look at that. Doesn't that work perfectly?
It's just so quick and easy as well. And what's nice is you've got all of that colour, but you've still got a bit of you can still see the texture of the watercolour under there. See if I can get that one off without.
Okay.
There you go.
There we are. Beautiful.
And you can see
I love those splatters.
Just so pretty. And I'm going to grab an ink. Oh, I thought I'd got a yellow one, but I can't find it. So there it is. No, it isn't. So we'll use a bit of orange. And again, we'll just put that in there. We'll add a bit of water. I'll grab a paintbrush. It's starting to look like home now.
We're trying to find the masket on the website, Claire. Is there another name to it? Or do we just call it masket?
I think it's...
Oh, it's the found it. They've found it, I believe. Yes.
Is it called masket?
It is. There it is.
Yay!
Oh, make sure you do put that in your baskets as well. I believe you get 10 sheets. You've seen Claire using it there. You can use it for masking off for your stamping techniques, you know, just for protecting from colour. Even use it perhaps for masking out areas of your stencils as well. £9.99, item number 976569. Now what you need to do if you're searching for that, rather than just putting masket, put the hyphen in between the words mask and it. That is the key there. If you don't do that, it won't find it. That's why our lovely producer had a little bit of trouble.
So all I've done is just gone in and watercoloured in the middle of our daisy.
Oh,
so
so
I'm just
pretty.
picking up some ink and I've gone over that a fair few times. There you go. I'll just add a bit more.
Oh, that's nice. A little bit of colour on more on one side. Yeah, that works beautifully.
So the other thing that is really lovely about this is obviously we've now got a topper basically for our card, but we've got a fab piece to play with as well.
You have.
So
you've got a built-in frame there.
Built-in frame. So if you're going to use this for scrapbooking, anything like that, but a little piece of 6x6 will fit in there as well. So you can just straight away put that in, put a photograph in there. You wouldn't, and for me, it breaks up that piece of 12x12, and I haven't even tried to do anything. It's given me a page to work with. So I could go straight in with that. I love the fact I've still got a stamp on the other side.
Even if you cut another square a little bit smaller than your 6x6 or your 15x15, depending on if you're working with inches or centimetres, you could use that square as a little frame, like a layering frame as well.
You could. I tell you what, we can do that because I think I've maybe got a piece of masket like that.
Ooh. Masket with a hyphen.
Masket with a hyphen. So what we could do, so I've used this before, so we could go in the middle, or we could go, oh that'd be nice actually, so this is the other side of it, so when I've cut this
don't
out,
forget you are, whatever you're cutting out, you've got the framework to it as well, so don't waste a single scrap.
So what we'll do is we can, if we pop that in there, we can then...
Claire, we could use the masket as well for masking off on glass jars and cylindrical things as well.
Yeah.
You know, ceramics, it doesn't have to be just paper, does it?
Definitely not. So we can pop that in there, and do you know what? We'll use a couple of pens and just show you how well they move as well.
Okay.
I'll grab a bigger brush. So what we can do is I've put that over there. So if we just add a little bit of colour, so we can basically make our own frame in here.
Oh, again, that's a gorgeous colour. 12x12 watercolour sheets are on the screen, everybody, as well. If you do want those, remember you can cut them down to any size you wish from a 12x12, but a great size to work with, especially if you're wanting to make those larger gift bags. You do get the instructions to make one as well. You can cut your A4 out of your 12 by 12. You could get your 8 by 8s out of there as well and have scraps left over. You could cut into quarters and get your 6 by 6s. So lots of options.
And then we can just drag that colour in. I should have a much wetter paintbrush. My jar's there somewhere, which we'll grab in a bit. But you can see it'll just move that, and I can keep going over that, no problem whatsoever, and just blend those colours in.
Gorgeous.
But it gives me quite a long time to work with it. Oh, I didn't mean to spray on there. There you go.
Oh, we're finding out that people are definitely remembering to put the hyphen in between the mask and the it. Yes, it really is key. If you're searching for it on the website, if you haven't got the item number and you're popping it into the search bar, it is key that you put that hyphen in there.
So what we could do as well, while we've got that masket on there, I'm going to grab my daisy again, and we can just put the daisies inside and outside the frame. Obviously that paper's quite wet at the minute, but it'll still stamp on it. It'll just give you a bit of a softer look at the minute while it's still wet.
I like doing that technique actually, Claire, you know, where you either spritz the stamp when the ink's on there, or you spritz the paper so you get that bleed into the watercolour.
Yeah, if we've done it with
sort of natural watercolour look.
If we do it with a Distress Oxide, I haven't cleaned that stamp, and put a bit of spray on that. I'm not sure this is going to come out because I didn't clean that stamp, but we could put that even back over there, and that's just going to give us that bleed into there.
Wonderful. And don't forget, we've just had a one-day special from Matthew Palmer as well. Oh, I so enjoyed crafting along with Matthew. So you need your watercolour if you're doing any techniques like that as well. And the sizes we've got will again lend themselves to those cards that you want to make perhaps. Oh, Claire, that looks lovely. I love that edge where the water has bled under the edge a little bit and given you that feathered look.
It's because I spritzed it. And then what we could do, where we've got the middle bit, so, you know, you can just start to build up just by having a bit of a play, really. And it's quite nice not to think about it. If I was doing this at home, I'd be like, oh, should I put that there? Should I do that? And it's quite nice just to go, you know, let's just pop some stuff with it. And our good old, and we love it, the text that's with the poppy stamp.
Oh, wonderful.
And we will grab let's grab a green.
Bring you the details for the poppy stamp as well. It's another very popular set, this one. Now you do get cardstock with this one, but it's a little bit different. You get the true red. Now poppies don't always have to be red, but it's lovely that you've got the red in with this, and it really is a true red, isn't it? 290 GSM is the weight of the card, and that poppy stamp there with the text that Claire's currently using. We'll see that in a second, but some beautiful poppy flowers. There they are, beautiful. The leaves, I love the fact that the leaves are separate as well. 441936, only $14.95, another saving on that bundle.
And what I like about this is the text stamp, I've just got on a bit of acetate, so it's not on a solid acrylic block. So I can just go in and do little bits of it wherever.
Yeah, we're not wanting that solid look.
No.
Just sort of highlights, almost a watermark in the background.
And you know what? Anywhere where I thought it was maybe a bit too much, I can still soften it all out.
Now I'm just going to let everybody know we've made it easy for you. If you're looking for the masket or the mask-it sheets, we've added them to the actual show. So the details are on the screen. It means now if you're on the website and you look at the show products, you will find them straight away. You'll see them there instead of having to search through with the search bar. $9.99, 976569 is the item number.
I'm loving just spritzing it, and it's just bringing it kind of all together, really.
Oh, lovely.
And I would leave that to dry.
How beautiful and fresh are those colours as well.
Yeah, and that kind of wasn't the plan.
But it just goes to show what you can achieve when you play, and we can see with the moisture that you've added to the watercolour there, the different techniques, the layering, you know, it is absolutely stunning. Love how those watercolour effects are coming through now with the sprays as well. Oh, thank you, Claire.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. Now, we do have some more things to tell you about as well. We've not even mentioned these yet, so let's go with the dies, because we have got, of course, your dies for you. Now, we've seen the watercolour, we've seen, of course, the stamps, we've seen the glues and the tape. shapes, but we do have dies as well. Now the first one are the Britannia dies. We've got filigree cross and the party glass. So you're getting both of these dies. Lovely detail in these again. Here you can see the filigree cross. Isn't that lovely? You can do a bit of paper piecing in there as well if you wanted to. Of course, you've got those party glasses there as well. I'm sure we'll all need those once, you know, once everything does settle down. I think we'll all be having parties galore, won't we? But just not yet. We've got to hang on a bit longer. £13.99 is the price for these. 945582 is the item number. We have got Easter and sort of communion times coming up as well, so maybe very useful for that time of year with the cross in particular. So we do have them on the way of dies as well, because we've got some sentiments for you. Now these are lovely. You can see how these are going to cut out a lovely script, but not too scripted that you can't read the font. A lovely size as well. So you've got deepest condolences there. You've got with sympathy. You've got thinking of you. So for those occasions, sometimes it's not the time we particularly want to be making, but we still have to do it. And then we struggle to find the right sentiment. So this is a great bundle. £12.99. You're getting 4 dies in total. 367717. Wonderful stuff. We've got more as well. Oh, I did have a little sample to show you with the deepest condolences there as well. I'll just show you that actually, so you can see how it does cut out in your desired colours, or you can make your own coloured cardstock if you want with your inks as well. Really lovely. And then we've got more for you because, whoa, look at these. What have we got here? We've got flowers. And we've got some boards to show you. These are the filigree lilies, and you can see these make very sort of realistic lilies as well. Do you know, you could layer these up and make other flowers as well if you wanted to. In fact, looking at the samples here, we've definitely got the lilies at the bottom, but you know, you can overlay, you can multi-layer these as well. You can put different layers over the top, the plain ones, the solids, the filigrees. There we are, beautiful samples there. £16.99 for these. You're getting 2 die sets. So you're getting the large and the small filigree lily. 4 dies in total. That's what you're getting for your money there. So a lot of metal for your money, as we say. 148297 is the item number. Then we have got, oh, we've got one more flower for you actually. We're staying with the floral theme, but these are very, very useful. Actually, we've got a couple more to show you when it comes to flowers. This next one here, like the fact that this die is all joined together as well. So one pass and you can cut as many flowers, well, you can cut up to that amount, but keep sending it through. Build your collection up so you've got them ready to go, and you can create things like this. Again, just being clever with how you layer these. You've got little tiny buds there. You can shape these with your tools as well. Look at this, if you want to create your roses, right from a very small bud up to a larger flower as well. You can make them more open, you can keep them tightly curled if you wish, and then you can still make your larger flowers as well. They can see 3 separate sizes all on one sample. £9.99 for these. These are your multi-flower rose die collection. 366794. We do have another one for you as well. Now, the same sort of principle here with the dies. So they're all attached together, so you can run these through. And you've got 2 multi-flower dies here. Now, these are classed as the small and the medium. So the first one we saw, the one in the previous item number, was the large one. Now we've got the small and the medium together. So nice to go for the full set, it opens up even more options. £16.99 for this one, 850936. And here we've got some more samples, making a very clever frame. Don't forget instructions of how to make these frames you get from Pink Frog as well, depending on the bundle that you're getting. 850936 is the item number though for the dies themselves. Then the next item we've got for you, we've got more words. Of course, we want happy birthday, don't we? Happy birthday in that beautiful font again. It's kind of a script, but not too scripted that you can't read it once again. And you've got the different size sentiments there. The happy birthday, smaller and larger as well. So you can decide how you use these. There's one of them being used there on the card. Perfect size, isn't it? 717198 is the item number, and only £9.99. Now, something else we haven't mentioned is this collection. This is absolutely wonderful. One of my favourites. You've probably heard me say many times, I love dots and I love gingham. I can see before you even see this, I can't really show this very well because it's going to strobe with our cameras. I can tell you that. But in front of me, we've got these all laid out for you. I've got a sample of everything here. These are your paper sheets. You've got your gingham, your spots and your stripes. There are 102 sheets. I'm going to try and show you 1 or 2 just so you can see the different colours a little bit more clearly. But if it starts playing havoc with the camera, I will have to stop. Now, under 10 pence per sheet, that's what you're getting here. I'm just showing you some of the wonderful colours. We're looking at the dots. Let's find something a little bit. Oh, you've got the nice bright green in there as well. Look at that. I'm skipping a few out because there's no way I can show you 102 sheets here. without taking too much time up. You've kind of got your solid backgrounds with your white dots, and then you've got your coloured dots with your white backgrounds in there as well. Let me just find some gingham. There's some stripes. Have to be careful with the straps. Love these. These work, you know, regardless of the projects that you're creating, these are going to work beautifully. There's your gingham as well. 309611 is the item number. Only £9.99, a £5 saving on those. 102 sheets. Brand new today as well. Pop that into your basket. You will definitely use that over and over again. Let's just pop over to the website and see everything over there, of course. There is much more besides what we've gone through on the counter. And then we'll get back to Claire for another demonstration. Remember, it's all about the watercolours today, but we do have the glues for you as well. You can see 5-star reviews on the tape and on the non-clog glue bottles as well. We do have that EVA glue, Scotch tape back in. We sold out of that last week. It came back on extended. It's back in today as well, so do not miss out on that if you missed it last week. And definitely check out those stamps as well. You can see those bundles contain not only the super smooth, but watercolour card as well, along with those stamps. So great starter kit, or just more to add to your collection as well. Don't miss out on those beautiful poppies with the true red cardstock. Claire, over to you again.
I thought we'd show you that we did finish our little daisy card. So all I've done is just mounted that onto foam pads, and the great thing about the big chunky pads is it only takes a couple behind there just to make it stand proud.
Do you know, that's another good tip about the foam pads as well, thinking about them, because they are the same. We've said you can cut them down, but when you are mounting cards, you need that stability. Sometimes we put things in the corners and not the middle, and you find it's all a bit wobbly. That is an important point.
And for me, because you've got it stood a little bit proud, you can, you know, I don't have to mat and layer, so I can just get a different look, because I would normally just mat and layer everything. So I quite like doing something, you know, a little bit different.
Definitely, and in an envelope as well, it's not going to sort of collapse in the middle either. So make sure you use those larger pads to give that structure.
So you asked, could we emboss onto our watercolour card? And I said,
is that what we're going to do?
Yes, yeah, we are. So we are going to grab a stencil. So this is a stencil I've made myself. Let's pop it onto
now we have the Mylar on last week as well.
So this is with our butterfly die, which is actually the middle of it's very intricate, but the outside is quite a basic shape. So I've popped 3 on there, and I'm just going to pop this onto one of our little card mats, our 15 by 15s. And I am going to grab, I've already got out, a Versamark, and I am just going to ink through the stencil.
Okay, so this is your clear embossing pad. You could go with a Wow if you've got that as well, if you haven't got the Versamark. We're going to see if we can find the Mylar for you as well. Ross, just in case you're looking, it's not my-lar. We've found it, we've found it. There it is. There it is on the website. We'll try and get it added to the show as well for you. 6 sheets, you can make your own stencils. These are 12 by 12s as well. So you could cut this down, each sheet into 4 to create 4 stencils from 1 sheet. So that's 24 stencils at 6 by 6 you could create there. Just by die cutting with your favourite dies, Claire.
It is, I've got a bit. There you go. Technical issue. There you go. So we've got our butterflies there. I love the way I'm using our best pattern paper to tip that back in. I was like, do I fess up to that? But yeah, there you go. So I'm just going to heat emboss this, and then we can add some ink and some stamping, and so then we can treat it like normal watercolour card.
Okay.
So they'll not take a minute to heat. There we go.
Now we have added the Mylar to the show as well, so if you're looking under the products, under the show, on the website, it should be there for you, so it makes it a lot easier rather than having to search again. There, we can see that embossing powder melting away. Nice texture to it.
Yeah, you can almost see the watercolour texture come through on it, which I think is lovely. There we go, last one.
Lovely stuff. Beautiful.
There you go. And I'm going to grab my mat because I want the ink to bead a little bit. And then we can just then carry on and do our techniques that we want on there. So we'll grab a couple of Distress Oxide.
Lovely. So talking about different mediums to work with the watercolour, then we're talking about the oxides because they're water reactable, aren't they?
Yeah.
We're talking about your pens, your watercolour pens, acrylic paints.
Yeah.
Could you use on there
Watercolour
as well?
pencils.
Yeah. Obviously your watercolour paints, that goes without saying.
Yeah, I think Caroline's done a couple of freehand, just little drawings over
these
there, which
beautiful
are
flowers
beautiful.
I've got here?
Yeah,
Oh, I
and
need
she's
to show
just,
these,
you know,
actually.
so just as watercolour card, you know, just she's
very pretty.
I know, they're
Look at this one,
beautiful,
got
aren't
sunflower
they?
as well.
So I'll get round
These
to
are on
ma-
the 15 by 15 as well, so ready to go card toppers there.
Yeah, I'm going to try and make some little frames for those when I get a
Lovely.
minute. So we'll let that pool a little bit. So we can just go in then. And all of a sudden, we can add
And
plenty
course,
of colour to that.
Because you've got the embossing powder there, it's acting as a resist.
Yeah. So what we will do, I'm going to leave that there for a second, but I'm just going to dab this dry a little bit, and you'll see it'll come off there. And then obviously the more you dab, the more colour will come off. But
Again, if you've got bits of rice paper or maybe the parchment paper that Lou Sims had on a couple of weeks ago would be really good. You can dab up with that and make your own backgrounds with that as well.
I'll just go in and add a couple more little bits. I'm going to clean that off. Even though
I love the drippy techniques. Anything with splashes on, the dripping, the textures.
I just love the fact that it just moves so well on the watercolour. And what I would say is sometimes when you do things, you think like, oh, I'm not sure. Just let it settle for a bit and come back to it. And as it dries, it all seems to kind of meld into one. So
definitely
let the paper do its work for you.
I agree
really.
with you. And I think not always get your heat gun on there and dry with a heat gun. Try and let things dry naturally because you'll get different effects. You'll see the water move in different ways and it will puddle more and you'll get those lines and you'll get those effects coming through even more.
Yeah, when I'm working at home, quite often I'll have kind of 3 or 4 pieces on the go all at once. So one or two will be drying, so I can just come back to them. I am going to give that a very quick blast so we can stamp on it.
Okay, wonderful. And of course, when you've got the watercolour bundles that we've got as well, because you're getting so much in each bundle, you can afford to work on more than one project at a time and let them dry. Not worry about it, because all those backgrounds are going to come in so beautifully. On the screen at the moment, we're looking at the 15 by 15, or it converts to a 6 by 6 almost. 261694 is the item number. You are getting 100 sheets pre-cut for you. Just a reminder again of one of those samples. Oops, knock that one over. So if you wanted to make your ready-to-go card toppers, work directly onto those sizes. Instant card topper there at a 6 by 6. Beautiful.
Going back to our script stamp.
Ah, this is the one that comes with the poppies again.
It is,
Yeah.
but you know, it's just beautiful, and we can just go through and add a little bit more dimension on that. And where we've got it on our butterflies, because we've embossed, that will just wipe off on there.
Wonderful.
So you can see you can make layered backgrounds really quickly.
Another tip for flattening your card as well, if it has buckled a little bit, is maybe sandwich it between some clean copy paper and through your die cutting machine as well, because it will flatten it out.
Yeah. Sometimes with watercolour, it'll take some of the watercolour feel out of it. It'll almost flatten it too much. I'm kind of quite happy with that. I think I will. Let's die cut a sentiment and pop that on there. Or should we just, no, you know what, we're going to stamp on it. No, we're going to die cut a sentiment.
Decisions.
So
now, I can see just to the left of your mat there, Claire, you've got a beautiful piece of embossed card. Is that super smooth or is it watercolour?
No, that's watercolour, because that was going to be I was going to talk to you, because when you said, can you emboss on it, I was like, yeah, so you can heat emboss on it. And all I've done is run that through an embossing folder, and then again, you could just add I've got pink in my hand again, haven't I? But you can see you can blend on it as well.
Oh, lovely.
Let's grab that one's probably got a bit of purple on.
And could we still do kind of the splatter technique, spritz that with water and pick some colour out now it's been embossed?
I'm going to move stuff. I'm terrible at not ruining, but adapting bits. Yeah, I think that'd be disputed at home.
Oh, you can see that reacting.
Yeah, it'll take a little while because that's, and you know what?
It's a watercolour card. It's soaking in more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll use the bigger one, and then what we can do is just dribble that over there.
Oh, I like that.
I like that as well.
That's very nice.
And I would just, again, I would let that settle, because then what you'll get is where you've got these quite big drips, is they will. But you said, you know, can you, let's grab that, but you can splatter on it as well. So if we grab a bit of ink and grab our paintbrush.
Of course, because you've embossed with an embossing folder, if you do want to sort of drip, put lots of water on and drip, it will find its own sort of path in between the embossed areas as well, so you get really interesting techniques.
Apart from I can't get that wet enough. There you go. But yeah, you can do the little, it's probably gone everywhere but on my piece. But yeah, then you can just do little drops on there as well. That works quite well with kind of paint as well. Yeah. Put a bit of white paint on it, gesso, anything like that. The other thing you can do is, you know what, let's run another piece through the machine just to show you. I love it. This has got splatters on it already. So you'll see, I've just loved this little pile and I just keep going through them.
Okay, we've got about 4 minutes left, Claire, and I'm telling you, because I think you wanted a bit of a heads up on something.
I do. I'm going to leave this, and what we're going to do, because there's some stuff that I really want to do. So we are going to grab...
This is the thing that we can see, you get so enthralled, you get so engrossed in what you're doing as well. When you've got so much of the cardstock to play with as well, at these prices, just incredible. You can play the whole day long and more, just trying different techniques out, embossing folders, inks, pens, all those different things. Your different sort of techniques, scrumpling up the paper, or the cardstock that we saw at the beginning as well. I've no idea what Claire's doing at the moment.
It looks like we're in the kitchen now, but what we're going to do is, and I'm going to do it really quickly. Yeah. So I am, you could take a bit longer and blend these a little better, but due to time, we are just going to throw...
Is 3 minutes long enough, Claire? Because that's what we've got left.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Lovely. We are just going to put some ink down on these. It's going to look a bit messy, but do not worry, because the ink is going to kind of activate these. This one, we're going to make nice and bright. I love the fact it's all got a bit of blue in.
I love where you can see the texture picking up around the edge of the ink there as well.
So
they look nice and juicy ink pads.
Some of these are new. And let's go a bit green on this one. A bit of green. Oh, a bit of green and orange would be quite nice.
Oh, nice. So we've got 3 different backgrounds, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm going to pop a bit of blue in there as well. And what could possibly go wrong, right? I'm
2 minutes there.
Right, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to spritz all of them, but one of them I'm going to spritz, if I can find the right spritzer. I've got about 3 different ones, and I can't find the one I need, not to worry. So you'll see, even though we haven't bled it very well, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw lots of water at this, and that'll cover that gap in the middle.
Okay, lovely.
And then what we're going to do, we are going to pop some bubble wrap on this one.
So you really have saturated that there?
Yeah, and then we're just going to let that be.
Okay.
And then this one, we're going to throw some salt crystals at.
Oh, so this is your rock salt, is it?
It is, but you can use rocks. So that's kind of salt flakes. You know what? We'll do all 3 so that when we look at these later on, because they'll take a bit to dry. That's your rock salt. So that's the one you'd put in your little little grinder, and then this is just your normal table salt. So if this is all you've got,
Okay.
give that a bit of a go.
Oh, so we're going to see this later, are we? What the effects of
We
it?
are.
So what's going on the third one?
The third one is going to be cling
45
film.
seconds.
And I was hoping I could find my mica spray, but I can't. Actually, you know what? We're going to put some of this over it. Oh,
Okay, 30 seconds, Claire. Don't want to panic you,
Fine.
but I'm just keeping you posted.
absolutely fine. We're just going to crunkle up a bit of cling film and throw that on top.
Ah, so when will we see the effect of this?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock tonight. Do not miss it. Do come back and check those baskets out. Do not forget, Claire's back in between as well. We've got a happy hour at 5 o'clock. Don't miss out on your glues, your tape, your foam, your scotch tape, your stamps. Claire, thank you so much. I'm taking it to the wire. Check those baskets out. Wonderful.